Hey YouTube, want to talk about some maintenance on your mower that I'd call it kind of forgotten maintenance, in the sense that I've, in all owner's manuals that I've seen, they never addressed this particular subject. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I did a video recently which was talking about a Briggs motor that had a broken timing gear. This actually is the crankshaft that had that timing gear on right here, and the timing gear itself sheared right here. In that video I mentioned that there was nothing really wrong with this motor. There's no scoring in here. The piston was good. The flywheel key up here on top was not damaged. The blade was not damaged. And the adapter that was on here was not damaged either, to indicate that it hit something. However, after I made that video, I realized that in the process of taking this engine apart, I had to take off the blade adapter that was on here, and it was seized onto this shaft pretty severely. This is the adapter that came off of it. The key is not broken. That's actually the bolt that goes on. Nothing here is damaged to indicate that it struck something. But basically this adapter, if I can get it on with one hand, but it keys in here and it goes in. When I tried to take it off, it was seized. There's sometimes you'll have an adapter that'll be here. You can kind of tap it with a hammer, and I'm probably going to do a separate video which talks about how to remove these when they're stuck on here. But this one was pretty bad in terms of that. I couldn't get it off just by hitting it. Tried a penetrating wheel, that wouldn't work. Went to a puller, that wouldn't work. So I had to go to actually putting a puller on and applying heat at the same time in order to get this off. But anyway, the idea is that maybe this was so frozen on here that it just hit something which was like wood or something like that, that didn't cause any real damage, but it just gave enough of a sudden, jolt to this that little plastic timing gear was able to break off. So when you're taking your blade off anyway, inspect the blade adapter. There's really no way to repair these. They just have to be replaced if they are damaged. But at the very least, if it's frozen on here and it's not damaged, it should be removed. Then this area should be sanded down smoothly to take off any of that surface rust. And this area in here should be, apply some type of penetrating oil, WD-40, something like that you want to use, so that eventually then when you're able to get this on, it just basically slides on and off. I don't think I could really do it with one hand, but it should just slip right on there. That little key way is a little bit smaller than this shaft, so it should actually kind of, move a little bit, wiggle side to side, but it should basically be free. And what I would do is, once I got it free, I'd apply some WD-40 in here on both of these ends, push it on and off to the point that it's just sliding back and forth, and then put it on, put the blade on, and then the adapter for it. Now, these are just some examples of ones I took off. Obviously this hit something so much that when it shattered this key, it also took this rest of this blade adapter with it. So obviously this is garbage. In this case, the key didn't break, but you can see these nubs are all gone. So basically this blade spun, rotated, just shearing off all these little nubs. Compared to this is how these bosses are on here, so you can see what happened in that case. This one The key itself just sheared off. Actually, that's a piece of it laying in there. But that's gone, okay? This shows a little bit of a deformation here where it took a hit. But if this was seized to the shaft, what would happen is that all that energy gets transferred up into the mower and causes some other kind of damage. So this actually did its job by breaking off the key. If you try to reuse this, what will happen is your blade will keep coming loose, because as you tighten this down, once the shaft starts spinning in here, it's going to spin, and there's nothing to really hold this to that, because this is not, you know, there's no interference fit. All you have is, you know, right down here, you're putting pressure of your blade bolt. I can show you on this. You know, your blade is coming in here, and then your bolt is coming down, so it's just kind of pushing it down in. As far as rotating, if you don't have that key there, it's not going to work. And this is a self-propelled blade adapter, just to show you. You can see down in there. But there is a key. It's actually right here. So it's the same concept. Right about there, you can kind of see it. So same thing here. You know, if you spin this around, or if this should shear off, you know, this will just go around and spin off. This is a brand new one. But same issue. These go on exactly the same. If I can get it here with one hand, it would be nice. There you go. So, just to show you, you know, it should slide in and out of here without any resistance. And as I said, there should be a little wiggle in here, back and forth. Can you hear that? How it's moving back and forth. That's what you want. That's unseized. If this were to hit something, you're either going to break this key, break your top key, before you damage something else, break the connecting rod, this timing gear, stuff like that. So this is never really covered in anything that I've seen. You know, you talk about, you know, changing your blade, sharpening it. If you're taking it off anyway, all you have to do is just take this off. I mean, if it does have a self-propel, there's a belt here, but either way, hit this with some sandpaper, smooth it out. Check the inside here. You could apply anti-seize if you want, if you don't have something else. I generally find these little ones probably get seized on worse, because they only go up about an inch, and the rest of this shaft is all exposed. There's water coming down, or moisture comes down through this keyway. Can seize on the key. It just seizes in here. So just something to keep in mind. And like I said, this isn't covered anywhere in any manuals, any user manuals I've seen. And this is just a demonstration here of a blade that, you know, took a hit pretty severely, you know, but it also sheared off. I believe it was this one. It also sheared off all the internal parts of this. So as I said, there's no way to repair these. You just buy a new one. They're not really that expensive. Okay, so thanks. And like I said, I'll do a follow-up on how to remove these blades when they're, or these adapters when they're stuck. Okay, thanks. give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you.